on? Welcome back to the channel today, guys. Today is going to be a good one. Hopefully after today's video, you guys won't have to go through that last clip anymore. Hopefully you guys can win all of your gulags after this. Just hopefully this video helps. I'm sure it will. But anyways, let's get right into it. So for tip number one I have is crank your volume all the way up. So, personally, when I'm playing Warzone, I like to have my volume at like 10, my master volume at 10. Um, but however, when I get into the gulag, when it's do or die, um, I crank that shit up all the way so I can sound for my opponent and know exactly where he is. So yeah, tip number one, crank that volume up. The best audio mix to use is easily boost high. Um, this volume, like this audio mix, like you can literally hear everything in the map. Um, So yeah, boost high, best audio mix, use that and crank that volume up for tip number one. Um, and then tip number two I have for you guys is use your tacticals and lethals for information on where your opponent is and to weaken them before engaging. And you also want to use your lethals and tacticals as quick as possible, because like if you don't throw that Semtex or that C4, chances are your opponent will throw it before you do. So yeah, tip number two is use your equipment for information on where your opponents are and to cancel out areas in which they could possibly be, and to weaken them before engaging, and then use your tacticals and lethals as quick as possible, obviously. And then tip number three, this goes back to my how to aim like a pro video. I go into depth on cameraing, centering, and all that other stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead. But yeah, so tip number three is to, like, even before the gulag starts, aim where you're gonna go, and then right off the rip, be aggressive, camera and center, for where your next gunfight could possibly be. Just just camera and center, and just be ready for that next gunfight. Tip number four is be passive aggressive. So right off the rip, you want to be aggressive. You want to get to that power spot. You want to cut that gulag in half. Um, yeah, you just want to get to that power spot and be aggressive. And then from right after you get to that power spot, that's when you can play passive. So right after you get to the power spot, use your lethals and tacticals. Cancel out areas that they could possibly be, or if you hit something, then you know where they are, and then from there on you could play however you want to play it. And then tip number five, as I said earlier, is cut the gulag in half. So right off the rip, be aggressive, get to that power spot, and then cut that gulag in half. So what I'm saying is basically you'll know what half of the gulag he's on. So and then from there onward you can use your lethals and tacticals to cut the area down in which he probably is. You're basically playing for information is what I'm saying. So yeah, cut that gulag in half, get to that power spot. Yeah, and then tip number six is team callouts. If you guys don't know already, you can call out to your teammate where his opponent is at all times if you're watching. So yeah, give your teammate callouts or vice versa. And then tip number seven is throw rocks at your teammate's opponents, or get your teammate to throw rocks at your opponent. So basically, when you're in Gulag, you can throw rocks at enemy players, and it deals 1 damage. So I mean, it's better than nothing, and it'll also like shake their screen a bit, so it'll make them nervous and scared and whatnot. They'll think like, oh shit, my opponent just hit me with something, but in reality, like, his opponent doesn't know shit. And it's actually someone above him throwing fucking rocks at him. So yeah, and then tip number 8 and 9 I'll go in depth later. But yeah, other than that, that is it for all the tips. Let's get into an in-depth explanation of how to play your gulags and well, how to never lose them. Okay, so right here, I'm aiming where I'm gonna go. Okay, and right off the rip, I'm going to be really aggressive, and I'm going to get to that left corner in mid-map. That's the power spot you want, and that's where you can cut the map off in half. You can cut the gulag in half from there. And then from there onward, I'm gonna wait to see where he goes. If I don't see him or hear him, I'm gonna use my lethals and tacticals as quick as I can. So right here, let's go. And I'm centering and cameraing around corners to be prepared for any gunfight. I don't see him. I immediately use my stun to see if he's on the left side. I hit nothing. And then I'm like, okay, I'll throw my Molotov in the right corner. Is he there? Nothing. And then right as I go to push, I see him in the right side. And from here onward, I just play based on knowledge of where he is. And I make him come to me. And then, there you go. That's basically, um, that's basically it. Um, However, right before I am done, um, this left route is the best route to take in Gulag. Every single time, 100% guaranteed or your money back. Because if you go mid, you're exposing yourself to the left, right, and in front of you. If you go right, if you go on the very far right, what you'll do is you'll let the enemy get to his power spot before you can get to any other power spot, and he can get a lot more map control before you can get any map control. Um, so yeah, right here, I do literally exactly what I've been talking to you guys about. Knowledge, and well, I can't even talk. You guys get the point. Um, so yeah, um, the left route, easily the best route to take every single time, 100% guaranteed or your money back. um, so yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Um, Hopefully you guys will win a lot more gulags. But other than that, I'm gonna leave you guys with some more examples. So yeah, remember to leave a like, subscribe, comment, share the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you.
On your left now, on your left. Right front of you, right front of you.
Let's go,
That's
baby. Let's go.
you got
Or his boyfriend. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is my last game on. I'm honestly shitting the bed. I hate this.